Shalom. First of all, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to you hopeful elect out there that's going out and proclaiming this truth. Even though I just did a video going out on the streets teaching every day is Groundhog Day in Babylon the Great. That's right, because of the fact that, you're serving a dead-end job. Every day is the same. Nothing really ever changes. It's the same song every morning, but not in a happy way, But we're singing this new song, and been singing this new song for a while, but it's totally different. It differs with Christianity. It differs with everything that we've been taught. And so, a lot of people want to stay in Groundhog Day mindset, like the Truman Show. They just would rather believe the lie than take heed to this truth, It's kind of the point, as I read out of Isaiah 17 there. But, there's a little bit more on this, internet cut, as we know that, they're cutting the internet, but this is on Assange, so there's a little bit more follow-up from RT. So I'm going to read that here. Ecuador cut Assange's internet over Catalina crackdown tweet. Source close to WikiLeaks. The move by the Ecuadorian embassy to cut all communications for Julian Assange was triggered by his critical remark on the arrest of Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont, which compared modern Germany to the Nazis, a source says. The WikiLeaks leader, who is stranded in Ecuador's diplomatic mission in London, found himself in a total communication blackout on Wednesday. So, they just took him down just because he didn't agree with the establishment, right? So he's, another whistleblower truther. So, also, we got what's going on in Syria here. The terrorists are being evacuated while many of the refugees are returning back to Syria. So, a new batch of terrorists leave Eastern Ghouta for Idlib. And, well, if you know anything about the Idlib countryside, that's been the terrorist hubs, American supported, the whore, Babylon the Great. Efforts to afoot to bridge educational gaps for 15,000 students who left Eastern Ghouta. That's another thing, these bombs are fucking blowing up schools right and left. But I don't see any protests about that, with this March for the Lies bullshit, But yet, we're talking about real school shootings. We're talking about United States military attack planes saying that they're fighting ISIS, but bombing civilians. But there's no protest about that. Damascus Deputy Foreign and Expertise Minister Dr. Fayasi Mihat took aim at the investigative mechanism of the OPCW UN Joint Mission tasked with probing the use of chemical weapons in Syria. So, they are, proving that it was the terrorists that had them. Fifth batch of terrorists leave towns of Eastern Ghouta to Idlib. Representing President al-Assad, Azam offers condolences to Russian people over Kemero's fire. That's right, because they just, and it was a Mossad operation, but, aim more to blame, the ISIS group, so that way America has a reason to be in there to help fight ISIS, even though Russia's fighting ISIS. So anyways, Damascus, representing the President Bashar al-Assad, Presidential Affairs Minister Mansour Azam on Wednesday visited the Russian embassy in Damascus and offered condolences to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Ambassador Alexander Kinchek. And, of course, let's see here. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. Just trying to find something else here. That's another thing about humanitarian situations, humanitarian aid and all that, United States, the whore, Babylon the Great, is currently stopping all humanitarian aid from going into Yemen while, shipping around the Saudi prince, the terrorist, who's unleashed this war against Yemen, which we know it's a U.S. war against Yemen. It's just Saudi Arabia happens to be the closest to it to do their dirty work. But you could best believe, whenever it comes to terrorism, America's fingerprints are all over it. That is the whore, Babylon the Great. So let's take a look here, another article that I pulled up. Just got a buzz for it this morning. So, get up here. Telegram finally restored after outage across Russia, Europe, and the Middle East. Instant messaging app Telegram suffered an outage for users across Europe, the Middle East, and Russia on Thursday. The episode lasted a number of hours before being rectified. So yeah, they just cut their internet connection also. Down Detector reported a spike in problems with hundreds of users complaining that the Russian-designed app was not working. Users were greeted with a service error, or in some cases, the app simply failed to load. And they've been fucking with our streams. They've been fucking with a lot of brothers' channels, because these motherfuckers know that they're fucking through. Because we're tearing down stretch Christianity, and coming out with this new song, so it's really hurting you. So look at my channel here, Confusion Face Reading 2, especially if you want to check out the longer length videos, which I also put in a playlist called In Revelation Times, because that my channel was taken down a couple weeks ago. I was kind of down and out about that a little bit, but then I, dusted that off and just got back out there and kept teaching anyways. That's all we can do. They are cutting internet right and left. Edom's days are numbered as the beast breaks away from the whore. And that's a pretty good long-length video. As I forward other people's videos, and I put them together in a big collage, making them 2 hours long. And I say this much, if people can actually waste their time actually watching Good Morning America or The View, which is a bunch of liberal crap, just American poop, if you will, which we know America's Babylon the Great, then why not just watch 2 hours of edifying videos from brothers, not just me, but lots of others, like Apostle Tahar, San Francisco camp, the main camp, brothers that are actually in this, the House of David. So then got another one, a collage of videos, America Babylon is coming to its end. And I did one about the Bitcoin reserve currency because, that's a digital currency because they're wanting to get rid of cash. They wanted to go cashless, Chris Green, AMTV, talks about it. But you take a look here. This is some of the end time news here, but we're going to look at this Alex Jones video because I think that you'll find this interesting. Not that I'm telling you to subscribe to Alex Jones, but just, pretty much it's the, deja vu all over again, 2013. Breaking. Facebook violated federal law, anti-gun march, confirmed synthetic Astaroth. Students chant to take away rights under American flag, march for their lives. Mark Zuckerberg caught in massive lie. I would never sell users' data. Yeah, we don't even use Facebook, if you're in Great Millstone. We don't even use Facebook because we already know it was corrupt. And we're not in this to make friends anyways, We're just out here to do a job, to proclaim this word. Another one interesting, fighting tyranny in California, exposing mayors and shadow government leaders in power. And AMTV, Chris Green, did another one. North Korea is a disaster, expect World War III. We might try to look at that. This is a big one. San Francisco Bay Area, oppression is coming to a city near you. Probably put that in one of my longer length videos. The chariots are revealing themselves to the astonishment of Esau. Yeah, and that's another thing I talked about when I was on the street this morning. So, take a look at this Alex Jones video here.
Look at the demonization that's taking place against those of us that defend the Second Amendment as they launch the biggest attack in history against our basic right.
What separates mainstream media from blatant propaganda?
800 marches are planned for Saturday, from Bismarck to Salt Lake City, Memphis to Springfield, Virginia, and everywhere in between. Children now taking on a very adult topic, politics, and hoping they can teach the grown-ups a lesson.
The lopsided coverage of the March for Life was anything but objective. But don't take my word for it. Here's gun grabber in chief, Senator Dianne Feinstein from California, with more.
Let's bring in a prominent member of the United States Senate, Dianne Feinstein of California. She's in San Francisco right now. Dianne, thank you for doing this, Senator. What's it like out there today? It's wild here in Washington.
Well, it's the first day of spring. People are here. The program hasn't begun yet. What I want people to know is that we have introduced an assault weapons ban. My office wrote it, but we have 30 co-sponsors. It's in the Judiciary Committee. We are asking for a hearing. Problem is, we need 60, and we don't have a single Republican. And you've got to get the military weapon off of the streets and out of the schools and out of circulation. I deeply believe that.
Even the presentation during the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. subjected the participants with know thy enemy style expositions.
They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. If you try to take our firearms, doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them.
They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative over and over again.
What matters is who the enemy is. They're the no-gun people, period.
Listen up. You might have met our fresh-faced flower child president. We need Ivy League friends.
You might want to sit there one of these, you punk.
The only truly free people who have ever walked this earth have been armed people.
From my cold, dead hands.
So make no mistake about it. Esau's done. You know, you're not going to recover from this. You know, they're done. You know, and of course, like everything else, though, let's take a look at Chris Green real quick because I think this will be interesting.
Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV Alternative Media Television. Welcome to the live show. I thought I would do a special broadcast for you. I just did an in-studio shoot. Very important video talking about what's going on geopolitically. I've put it in post-production. And how I think we're looking at a ticking time bomb. A ticking time bomb. Not just economically here in this country as we, what is it, year 10? This is year 10 after the bailouts? Year 10 after the bailouts, and rates are still pretty much at zero. This is absolutely...
Yeah, Kmart gone, Sears gone, Toys R Us.
10 years after the bailouts, and Donald Trump just authorized, along with your Congress, and basically government officials, the Senate, I mean, basically everybody's in this smorgasbord of helping to raise the debt through the omnibus package, which nobody could even read because it's a multi-thousand-page document, and basically kicking up the debt another $1.3 trillion, a $1.3 trillion spending bill. But what brings me to today's show is Kim's message for Donald Trump. Kim's message, because just a couple of days ago, we were getting through the mainstream media that Kim Jong-un had agreed to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. People are like, oh, yeah, things are looking up on the Korean Peninsula. Hi, Facebook. How you doing? Hi, Twitter. Hi, YouTube. Things are looking up in the Korean Peninsula. Kim Jong-un has decided to denuclearize. Well, you do realize that he would only do that if the United States pulled all of its troops from South Korea and also did the same. And so the narrative could quickly change in the next 24, 48 hours. In fact, I think it did. It's why I'm doing this video right now, today, where he just simply suggests that he's willing to get rid of the bombs, but the United States isn't. So he won't.
See, there you go.
So a surprise visit.
So I thought that was interesting. Shalom to all you out there. And America's going down. Chris Green knows it. Alex knows it. We all know it. This place is doomed to sink.